What up, though? I'm Aleeah. This is my 1973 Caprice Classic, and I'm about to show y'all my baby. So I always wanted a dunk. I really love the cars, and just growing up around it and seeing how much people really put into dunks is like, it's a whole different ball game for real. So I knew I wanted it to be something special to me that I can continue to switch up, invest in, and really make it what I want it to be, so it can be a really valuable car. Because value is everything, but really having something that you can take care of. This might be a car. I know out of all the cars that I want to be able to have something, a car to pass down to all my kids. Something that they all can have, so they can value the old schools and, really appreciate the car. I grew up around old schools. That's why I love them so much. My dad always had an old school growing up. So I value them just because I grew up with them and I've seen them from Grand Nationals, old Corvettes, Dunks. He had an Impala and he had a Caprice. He had old Cutlasses, all different years, Firebirds. I've seen it all. So just being around that, being able to ride in them as a kid, pulling up to school in them. My dad has taken me to a lot of car shows and stuff too. Like in Detroit, they have Dream Cruise on Woodward, and I always went to that as a kid, and just growing up and just seeing all the different cars, and it just, I don't know, it seemed like any kid would just be excited to be able to see that. So I always told myself, I'm gonna give me some old schools, and when I'm old enough to get some, give me some old schools. But I always been in the cars. Like I bought my first car all by myself at 16. And my dad was also into flipping cars, so he taught me how to flip cars at a young age when I was still in high school. So I couldn't, since I was just working 2 part-time jobs in high school, I wasn't able to get the dream car, the car that I wanted. But when I was in high school, I took my first car and flipped it 5 times. So I had 5 different cars before I graduated high school. Flipped it 5 times and got the car that I wanted for college. So being able to do that and really learn how to, sell, negotiate, and just really learning the car game just from being around.
So you're a hustler.
Yeah, I'm a hustler for sure. A hustler for sure. But learning cars and just knowing the value of cars is super important too, because I tricked people out of their cars plenty of times just from them simply not knowing what they had. So that's important too, because when you know what you got, can't nobody just give you anything for it. And me being a female in the car game, just period, is already a little bit intimidating. They be trying to make sure, but I got to be 110% on point, because it's already like, this is a man's world when it comes to cars. So they definitely overrule us in it, but I'm going to come heavy every time, so I'm cool. Dude, people see my dunk, they see how it is, like, I'm gonna make sure I'm just not coming any type of way. And I love cars, so I'm gonna continue to buy cars. Like I want a Chevelle, and I want another 442 Cutlass. I want a Grand National too. So it's just like certain cars like that I really, really want to have, and make my next project and really invest in that. But I love cars, so after this year, with this one, put this one up and start on my next project. I feel like it being different and not like everybody else's. So that could be the paint. That could be how your interior is. That can be just like different things. Like for instance, the dunk, everybody put a lot of money into that suspension, so it's just different things. I guess it differentiates between the cars, but for me, I like to really see like the details. So small things that you can do to a car, like upgrading your, you know, handles and your window, just like different accessories and stuff to make your, you know, car look better. I really like looks of cars, and of course also under the hood. That's real important too. That's where a lot of the money is under the hood. So not only your car look good, but it drive good, it sound good, and it's safe. I'm real big on safety because we didn't see, you know, people cars catch on fire and smoke and all that. And I don't be doing too much. I ain't racing. I ain't doing all that. You know, I just like to cruise. I like to keep it cool, keep it chill. And you know, I've been learning more about the engines and things too, because a lot of people been talking about upgrading to like a LS. So looking into that and just seeing, you know, different options. Of course, like everybody say it's better, but a lot of people really like big blocks too and say keep the big block. So I guess it's just a personal preference. Yeah. But every day I'm learning too, especially this car. One thing about old schools is they eat up your money. Costly. You do one thing and find 10 more other things that you gotta do. So with Dunks, you gotta have your stripe on point, your headlights and your grill on point, your suspension on point. It's just how the look is and how so many different things that you can do and upgrade a Dunk. It's just it's in a special kind of class. And then of course Dunks are only certain years and you know the two. So actually having a Dunk in a, you know, 73, I learned is the one that everybody wants. So that's another reason why I was looking for a 73 too. But I really love this car. I've grown to love it more, spending as much time as I spend it, but actually being able to be in it and, you know, seeing the progress and the time and the effort put into the car, actually being able to enjoy it is something too, because, you know, your car can sit in the shop seasons on end and you keep putting money into it, but if you don't ever get to enjoy your car and drive your car, then what are you really working on it for? Got to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I would say that that's what I really want for my next one, is to be more of a project. This one was like a 60% project, so it came 40% good. But I would really like to really get a car and make it like a project, from paint to putting in the seats to, you know, doing a lot of that stuff over, you know, doing the engine and things like that. So being able to make it a full project that I know that it's, you know, something that I really did from start to finish, it's something I definitely want to do. But I would never want to get a car at 100%, because even if I get it at 100%, I'm going to want to make it mine. I want to customize it to make it something that, you know, is mine, that's different, not something that somebody already been riding in when it was theirs. That don't feel valuable to me. That don't feel like, oh, you know, it's mine yet. So definitely do other things still to it, regardless of the condition that it's in, so that it feels like, okay, this is my car. I've always been a hustler for real, since a young age. Got my first job at 12. Really, for real, if you really want to consider a job, I mean, shit, I was watching kids since like 10, for real. It's my little cousins and stuff, but actually got my first legit job on a W-2 at 12. Started my first business at 14. It actually started off as like an edible arrangements business.
Really?
Turned into catering and decorating for like weddings and birthday parties. Real upscale. Real upscale. Now, I actually did that business all the way from 14 all the way up to about, just last year. Honestly, I slowed down with it when I opened up my first 2 franchises. So I kind of settled down from that business, but being able to do that business for almost 14 years is, you know, that was my longest standing business. It was my first business, and then I'm 27 now. So being able to do that was really taught me a lot. You know, I was self-taught. I mean, both of my parents are entrepreneurs. So I always grew up around, you know, hustle. So being able to be teachable and being open-minded knowing that there's always something to learn from someone. No matter how much money you have, no matter how many years you've been in the game, no matter how knowledgeable you are, it's always somebody that knows more than you. Surround yourself around those people. You'll learn a lot. So I'm so open-minded, and I remain teachable so that I can continue to learn and continue to elevate. And I feel like that's why I have accomplished so much and learned so much and done so much with only being 27. So I really take pride in that. And being able to, you know, learn that and instill that into my kids, because I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. So being able to give that back into my kids, you always want your kids to do better than you. So hopefully that will make them be better than me, you know, and know more than me, and just continue to excel. So both of my parents did really good with me, with all of us, all of my siblings. So being able to have that and have grew up in great households is also a great value. And then taking what I learned from growing up and teaching myself and, you know, continuing to elevate myself. But I did a lot of work. Like I said, I didn't have good work ethic since a young teenager. So using that work ethic and becoming an entrepreneur. But also, you know, I worked a 9 to 5 all the way up until last year. So
talk about that transition.
So I've always been an entrepreneur, but I wasn't full-time entrepreneur, even though I just was working my ass off, honestly, day and night. So working and going to school when I was in high school, going to school and working when I was in college, and then being able to just continue to just straight work and then run my businesses. I always kept a corporate 9 to 5 because what I did was I leveraged myself continuing to, I hate to call it, but job hop. I was one of them. So since I already was very knowledgeable on negotiating and sales and just having that business mindset and that operational mindset, I didn't care about staying at no job for no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I didn't want to retire from nobody, and your 401k can be transferred. So I was always with, how can I elevate to get to where I want to be with my entrepreneur self and my business? What I got to do that. So I started out working, my first corporate job, I was working in the bank as a teller manager. Worked my way up in banking all the way up into leadership. I was top around every major bank. Be it one for 6 months. I started off making $40K a year. By the time I left the banking world, I was in the 6 figures easily. I got out of banking and went into just straight operational. My last job I left at 26, making, after my bonuses and stuff, I'm making $165,000 a year. And that's hard. That's kind of rare. I won't say rare, but because it is some people my age that can still do that. But being able to have so much experience under my belt and getting paid, being able to do that really taught me a lot. And that showed me that I can do anything. If I want to be the president at 35, I probably can. But no, just being able to take all of that, all my hard work, and put it into what I'm doing now, really speaks volumes. So I'm really big on woman empowerment. So anything that us as females can step into and take over, and nowadays women are taking over in a lot of different categories. So for me, it's like this card game is already it has been a man's game. So I want us females to really hit the floor running and bring that pressure for real when it comes to these cars, because it's a lot of us underground females that's into these cars and have these cars and really some big dogs with these cars. And I want that to be front and center, and us really to, you know, come together and show out just how these dudes be showing out with these cars. We could do it too. And it be females that really love cars, just like me. So I really want to come together with more females that are into old schools and own them, and us just, you know, connect, network, and empower each other and just really show out. Have a good time. It's fun, you know. One thing about the car game, and to be honest, I have been to a lot of car shows and a lot of car meetups, and just so many of us in the culture just gathering around. It really don't be no BS. So I love to see that, for us to be able to always get together and, you know, show out, be able to show what we put so much money into, what we done worked so hard in. And these cars are assets. So being able to really show, you know what I'm saying, your assets, and how us as a culture can really get together and continue to come together in a positive way. I love to see it. That's why I like attending the car shows, and I like, you know, meeting new people that got cars and doing all that, because it's nice to be able to see that, nice to see what's out there, what people have worked so hard on, and, you know, what people's projects are, and working on this car all year, and they finally bringing it out to be able to see the transformation. It's beautiful. Whatever you want to do, whatever you got your mindset to, do that shit.